This is Bobby Brown, and you're listening to Maximum Threshold. Ride the Death Star.
Automatic defense procedures initiated.
What we've got here is
maximum voltage, maximum power, maximum carnage. This is Maximum Threshold. Call the show at
440-709-4977.
Maximum Threshold. And here's your hosts, Dom.
It's unstable, but possibly worse. He's actually quite smart. He just makes errors of judgment along the way.
Test it.
Go, man. I want to thank everybody for tuning in to this week's edition of the Maximum Threshold Radio Show, man. We got a killer show for you lined up tonight. Oh, yeah, Paul Nelson is going to be calling. You just heard some Paul Nelson there, Out of Time. That was off his latest release, or the latest one I have. And also we have Burley Drummond from Ambrosia. And I think we got an interview here with Kubla Khan a little later on in the program. But hey, stick around. It's going to be a cool show. There's a lot of cool information going to be passed on your way tonight, and I've got a lot of new music too as well to turn you guys on to. So yeah, this is episode, I think it's 539, I think, if I'm not mistaken. I want to say that next month will mark the 14th year we've been doing this. I think it is. If not, it's 11th or 4th. Who knows? I know it's way up there. It's got to be 13 or 14 or something like that. I have to look back in the records. But yeah, man, been doing this for you guys for years, man. Every weekend, find time and turn you guys on to what I get my way. Yep. So, yeah, I'm just looking at all these tunes I got thrown up on the board here, and I got so much other stuff. I just put back in my drive close to 20 new CDs, new stuff, and I got the new clutch. I'm probably gonna play for you guys in a little later. I also have. Well, let me see. We actually pull them up. I didn't even put them on my board yet. Those are just stuff that I had that I needed to get on here. You know what I'm saying? So, let's see here. We got a couple cool interviews coming up down the road. We got some local band, Mushroom Head. We're going to be having them on. There's so many. I don't even write this stuff down. I used to, but man, it's just got so much going on. I'm back at school, working on my master's degree. I'm working on a solo record, slowly piecing that thing together. I got to beat my single that I put out a few months ago, that Angels of Movement. I got to beat this. I got to find something. I got to find a better backing track because it started blowing up there for a while, and then I think it's fizzled out. I had like 5,000 downloads in the first week, so yeah, that's not bad, man. Shit, for me just pushing it, I don't mind. Wait a minute. I got a new song that came out last week. I put out a bunch of singles. It was what the hell is it called? Drain my soul of goodness. I think that's what it is. I have my daughter on there doing some sound effects in the background. It's pretty cool. It's got more of an industrial kind of sound. I don't even think I have it on my computers here because I got all them are with the label. The label has my material, and I just threw it over there. What the hell? I uploaded. I got some other cool stuff in the works. I have this song called Scorpion Tail. Of course, it's Tale. I didn't come up with the idea. I asked the family. I said, "Give me a name for a song," and they gave me this name title. Let's see. I got a few other ones. I got one called Bridge and some other ones. Let me see. I originally wanted to put together a Christmas record, but I don't know if this Christmas record is going to come together. So I didn't even start it yet. Oh, here we go. Maximum Threshold Radio, you're on the air.
Yes, hi, Dom. This is Burley Drummond from the band Ambrosia.
Hey, Burley, how you doing, man?
I'm good. How are you? Is this a good time to call?
Oh, it's perfect. Yeah, I just tossed you right on. So what's going on, man?
I'm a drummer, so timing's important to me.
I'm a guitar, so I'm off.
Okay. Okay, good.
So what's going on with you, man?
Well, I guess we're playing a couple of shows near you, Marion and Kent Stage. Kent Stage. Mm-hmm. Is that right? Yep. Am I on the right track?
Yes, okay. You are. Yeah, I know the Kent one. That's probably like 45 minutes to an hour away from me. So I'm going to.
Okay.
Yeah, I got a couple of people I'm going to try to. If I can't make it, I'll have them come down there and cover you and talk to you and do all that at the venue.
Oh, please, that'd be great. Yeah, well, I hope you can make it.
Well, I'm going to try. All of us are yacht rockers over here too, as well. So we want to make our way there.
Yeah.
So for the people who aren't familiar with you, you want to give them a little brief about yourself?
Well, okay, I'm one of the founding members of Ambrosia. We started in 1970. We had our first album came out in 1975. Had a hit called "Holding On to Yesterday." Later on, we had hits "How Much I Feel," "You're the Only Woman," "You're the Biggest Part of Me." But at the same time, we had this progressive vein that people were comparing us to Yes and King Crimson and Genesis, especially on our first records.
Yeah.
So now we do a little bit of all of it,
Nice.
and we do some new stuff too. So yeah, it's a really great show, and the band has never sounded better. So
Oh, that's great.
there you go.
That's perfect, man. So just out of the blue, how many records you think you guys actually really sold back in the day?
I don't have those numbers, but
Yeah.
they're adding them up now because we're renegotiating a deal.
Yeah.
So all those numbers are coming present. I wish I could tell you. I know all the singles went gold.
Yeah.
Over time, but I don't know platinum status or anything like that. But
Yeah.
so yeah, I can't say. But I can tell you anything about the drums. What do you need to know?
I'm a guitarist. I wish I knew more about that stuff. All I know is cowbells and bass drum and a couple of rototoms and crash.
Yeah, there's a bunch of noise, in the background. Yeah.
That, and I know my drummer, he can really smell at times. I think that's why he has his fan on him all the time.
Yeah, it takes a certain woman to love a drummer. They usually like skunk and things like that too. It's strange.
Yeah. Is it true that the drummer always gets all the not the top shelf women, but the one like right below it, while the singers and get the top shelf?
No, they get the top shelf. They definitely get the top shelf.
They do.
Yeah. Oh yeah, without a doubt.
Is this a fact?
It's a fact. It's proven. Scientific studies have proven that the drummers get the top shelf.
Do you
Just
have?
ask my wife.
Oh, yeah, I believe that. So, what do you got? What do you have planned? For the near future with the band.
Well, we're starting to do a lot of international stuff. We're going to Ecuador and Costa Rica, Panama, and Mexico City, and then I think we're going over to Japan next year. So we're real excited about that. We have a new record in the works we're doing. Should come out next year. So there's still life, I mean, it's actually one of the most creative times right now. So it's pretty exciting.
Is there any talks about putting together a new record?
Yeah, right. We're working on it. We have a new single. In fact, if your emails, I'll get your email and I'll send you the new tune we have released, and you can hear it. Tell me what you think.
Oh, definitely, yeah. Always looking to hear some new fresh material, especially bands that have evolved over the decades, and just to see where they're going with it, and what I think what they would probably come up with, and if from the material that you have, if it kind of like coincides with the same thing, if I'm on the same page or not.
Yeah, I'd say the only Ambrosia's hits weren't the easiest quarterly. They were involved, so I'd say right now the songs we're writing have a little bit of prog and a little bit of pop. Mm-hmm. So I call this a prog rock pop band.
Gotcha.
We do it all.
Yeah, I hear you. What are some of the places where you really like to play? You like playing like the regular venues or like the casinos, where you get into more responses from the people?
I think the ultimate is a performing arts center. But you know what? Any venue works. It's what you make out of it. Maybe my least favorite would be when you play, what do they call it? Private conventions or something, when you're hired, by people that don't really know you specifically. But anywhere where people come to see you, see the band specifically, it's great.
Has anybody ever hired your band to play like weddings?
Not in the last 45 years, no. I mean, no, people have tried.
Yeah.
People have tried, but when they realize the undertaking, that it's more than just a band coming up and setting up in the corner, and playing. It's, it's a show.
Yeah.
And, we need the right stuff to do the show.
Mm-hmm. What are some of the things that I'm getting all these text messages from people? They're asking, what are some of the things they should be looking forward to at your shows? Are there anything different that like stage setups or anything like that?
Yeah, something old, something new, something borrowed. actually, that kind of works. We're going to do, we'll do all the hits, of course.
Yeah.
And we'll do some of the prog, the more adventurous stuff, and we'll do some of our newer stuff, and we'll do some of the tributes we've done in the past, like, say, Magical Mystery Tour.
Oh,
We were on an album called All This in World War II with Elton John and Rod Stewart and the Bee Gees. It was a tribute to the Beatles. So we had a hit, actually, called Magical Mystery Tour, and we'll be doing that. We'll be doing all kinds of stuff.
Nice. I got a text here from Jeff Kiss. He's asking, he said, ask if you'd be up for a yacht rock tour with Hall & Oates and the Doobie Brothers.
I think we could swing that.
Have you guys?
Yeah, we do it in a second.
Have you guys done any cruises yet?
Yes, we've done a lot of cruises. We did the Moody Blues cruise, I think 3 times or 4 times now. We did the Yes cruise because Yes actually requested us. So we did a Yes cruise where they asked us. We've done this before. We'll headline like Prague progressive festivals where they ask us, hey, will you play everything? Play your whole catalog, just don't play the hits. That's different, huh? You don't expect that. So we've done that, and we've done this Time Life rock and romance cruises. And that what's really great is we have a lot of mutual friends, so artists that have worked with us, like say, so on some of these cruises we do our set and then we back up like Michael McDonald or somebody like that. So that's a lot of fun for us.
So you guys are like really well versed in knowing so much other material other than your own stuff.
It's a really good band. Yeah. I mean, it's the musicianship is very high, and I'm not trying to blow up my own horn our own horn. But,
I agree with you.
But it's a group that's done so. We're a bit like Toto in the sense that a lot of us have done extensive studio work and played in so many different situations that we're pretty adept at backing up anybody that comes that needs us. So we do a lot of package shows in that regard where we play and then we call it Ambrosia and Friends, where we play and then we have special guests like Stephen Bishop or Bill Chaplin or Peter Beckett from Player. All these kind of people sit in with us.
Oh, cool. Now, do you take part in any type of the Musicians Institute or anything like that?
One of our singers, Ken Stacy, one of our new tenor singer, he used to teach at Musicians Institute here in Hollywood. We've all done clinics at a lot of those places, but he was actually an established teacher there.
Oh, okay. Were you given any type of honorary degree or anything from anywhere?
No, just from UCLA. I graduated with a music degree, ethnomusicology.
Yeah. How much of that?
But I think go ahead.
I was just going to say, from getting your degree from there, how much of that information that you've learned were you able to apply towards your band and your music?
Every day, every day, I do sessions almost daily, and every day I use that knowledge. So yes, it was huge to me what I learned.
What were some of the key things that stick with you that you use?
Well, because I was an ethnomusicologist, a lot of the African rhythms, I studied African music for like 3.5 years, and that stuff is so, it defines so much of a feel, and that has permeated our cultures where we don't even know how much it has seeped in. And so, I use that constantly. Being a percussionist and being a drummer, I rely on African rhythms a lot.
What's so much? I'm not too familiar with that. I'm just wondering, what is the different type of styles or the emotional feel that you get with that music as compared to your regular, American blues rock sounds?
I could this is just a tip of the iceberg kind of thing. When Paul Simon came out with his African-ish album, Diamonds on the Soles of Her Shoes and things like that. So that's a hint of that's of an African based feel, and of course reggae is huge, coming from the islands, and so all that stuff creeps in to the what we call pop now, but not back in 1970, though that wasn't really present. I mean, you had Nina Simone and people like that, but they weren't blatantly doing African influenced pieces. So now it's part of the fabric of our music.
Nice. It's really great to know that that there's still musicians out there who play true to their roots and take the information that they've gained over the years, and they keep it and they don't get rid of it, and it's like something that's pushed in your blood, I guess you could say.
Yeah. Well, there's everybody has their source that where they've come and what drives them and what influences them. Like like a singer-songwriter, take somebody like James Taylor. He writes the plaintive songs, but then he does Mexico, which has got a lot of Latin rhythm in it. So the world is there for your choosing. The palette of music is so wide and extensive that it'd be a shame not to use it.
Oh, I hear you. Got a question here. They're asking, where do you see music in the next decade or so?
Well, I'm kind of curious, what's going to happen with computer-driven music, because composing music now, so many people are using pre-recorded like loops and things like that to form their music, and I wonder at what point a computer, I think it's probably already happening, a computer totally composes its own music, because it just picks elements that it thinks would work together and composes pieces of music, totally without man may have to turn on the machine, but that's it, and of course, I think there's a lot of good new music out there. I keep hearing, you hear a lot that, there's nothing great being written today, but I think there is. I think you may have to look for it. I think the only difference today is so many people doing the DIY, do-it-yourself thing that they don't necessarily need labels. Is that there's just such a huge amount of music out there that you have to wade through to get to what you really, really like. What
is the way that you plan on getting your music out to the people, especially coming off the new music that you'll be putting out?
Yeah, well, I mean, we probably will go with a label at some point with the new music. But of course, live, and then of course we'll just do our our own promotion and tackle every opportunity we can to put it out there. Yeah. Which everybody else is doing too. So you just have to hope you hear it.
Gotcha. I got a question here. They're asking, what do you do to relax when you're not on the road?
That's a good one. Luckily for me, my wife is in the band now. She plays keyboards and sings, and she used to play with Animal Logic and Jimmy Buffett and did sessions for Pink Floyd, and so just having her on the road helps me tremendously because she can see my moods and ups and downs and cool me out when I need it.
Gotcha. And he's also asked,
and I need it all the time.
I believe it. He wants to know also what type of hobbies you have.
I have, believe it or not, drums and percussion is my obsession and my hobby, and music in general. But if I'm not doing that, I actually like to garden. I like to work in my yard.
What type of plants are your favorite?
I like cactus. Now I'm on a cactus trip, or succulents. California, of course, we have to have succulents because nothing else will grow. So I'm enjoying that. And then, I have a friend, a gardener, that comes once every other week, and he always hands me new things that, it's like giving me a toy. Hey, go play with this for a while. So.
Yeah, they're also asking, what type of movies or TV shows are you watching right now?
I just watched The Handmaid's Tale. That was disturbing. Just because my wife thought that could never happen. I said it is happening. And then I liked The Crown. I liked that one about the president, but I guess he got in trouble. I forget the name of that one, but yeah. I don't get to watch too much TV. I'm lucky if I get a half hour in a night, but so it's just whatever's on usually, or whatever my daughter leaves on.
Gotcha. Do you take the family on a road with you?
Not so much. My son, who's 31, he's the new improved model on drums, and he's got a band called the Everly Brothers Experience, which they are just raging out there right now. They're doing so good. The only way I have to look at his itinerary to find out where he is. He's they're going off to do 12 dates in Ireland and then 5 dates in France. They are so good, and I'm so proud because I recorded them, and they just took off. It's just wow! It's like a rocket ship. They're just doing so great, and so I'm happy about that. My daughter just graduated from USC, and she's to me the most talented one in the family. She's an amazing singer, but she's going into the Peace Corps for 2 years.
Oh,
wow. Yeah, I know. It's I'm not sure I'm ready for that.
Well, they got to grow up and learn the ropes of life. That's what it's about.
Yeah. I just got to find a way to see her during those 2 years. Thailand.
Oh,
so
I spent a little time over there.
You did?
Down Pattaya Beach in Bangkok.
Oh, okay.
I was in the Navy.
Yeah.
I got drunk there.
Was it safe?
Yeah, it was. There were some times where I'd end up way out there in the jungle somewhere with monkeys all around me. But I felt pretty safe over there. Of all the places over in Asia, Thailand was a pretty safe place. Over there, I guess you could look at it as like people from Europe and Australia and those areas. They gravitate to that area for their vacation place. Like people in the States would go to Hawaii or Florida.
Okay, great.
And she's a good place. She'll learn a lot and see a lot, and especially if she's there to help. I think it'd be a great experience. I'd push my kids to do something like that as well.
Oh, good. Okay, that's good to hear. Thanks.
Let's see here. Let's get back on the road about talking about going on the road, coming into the Cleveland area here, the Kent area here, and what bands are going to be on the road with?
Well, I think those dates we're playing with, we're co-billing with Orleans, who are a wonderful bunch of guys, and they play so well. They're one of my favorites to co-bill with. But in our career, we have co-billed with everybody: Heart, the Doobie Brothers, the Beach Boys, Fleetwood Mac. You name it.
Yeah.
Rush. We used to play with Rush. So if there's no end to how many people we've toured and played with.
Yeah, that's cool. What is one of your favorite songs to play live?
Well, I really like the Brunt. It's called the Brunt because I get to do a drum solo and we have a lot of percussion in it. But I like them all. They're all a challenge still today. Biggest Part of Me is great, but it's a challenge. Time Waits for No One, Nice, Nice, Very Nice. I love all those songs.
Cool. And let's see. Just a couple more things here. We'll let you get going. But how can people get a hold of your back catalog, your merch that you have?
Well, you can get it on ambrosialive.net. ambrosialive.net. And if they have problem finding anything in particular, they can email us on that website, and we can answer their questions.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. I got another question.
Yeah.
This is coming from Dave. He's asking, ask if you know anything about the Lindsey Buckingham being fired situation.
I don't.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. But man, that band was the most volatile band we ever toured with.
Mm-hmm.
They're changing partners every week.
Yeah.
You know, it's like a merry-go-round.
Wow. Yeah, you guys.
But you know what?
Mm.
I learned so much watching Mick Fleetwood play every night.
Yeah.
That guy he's one of the strongest drummers I've ever seen in my life. Amazing.
Do you have a gong?
Excuse me?
Do you have a gong?
A dog?
No, a gong.
Gong.
Yeah.
Yes, I have a gong. In fact, I have a lot of gongs.
'Cause I know you said you were really into, like, your hobby is the drums. So that's why I was going to ask about the gongs. And so if you could tell me a little bit about, because if you figure if you got one, you got to have more than that, and there's got to be some history behind some of them.
Oh, sure. Well, I mean, when I started UCLA,
Mm-hmm.
I had to learn the gamut. So I had to learn orchestral percussion, marimba, vibraphone, xylophone, orchestra bells, chimes, timpani, and then I got into the Latin thing and studied a lot with my good friend Luis Conte, congas, timbales, bongos. And then I got into the ethnic thing with, all the African drums and the ensemble playing. And then I studied with all the raka from Ravi Shankar's tabla player.
Oh, wow.
So then I got into the Indian thing. So that's, and each one of those is a lifetime of study on their own. So, I'm lucky if I have 5% of what each one of those has to offer, but it's enough to give me an insight,
Mm-hmm.
And a feel for it. And that's really all you can hope for, unless you've got, multiple lifetimes
Yeah, I hear
spend
you.
on this.
Kind of at times you wish you did, because there's so much stuff you really get involved with, and you're like, I don't want to stop learning this. This is something, it's part of me, and I don't want to give it up.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
I got a question here. They're asking, what is the oldest piece of equipment that you have?
I have a Chinese cymbal that is probably about 400 years old, supposedly.
Wow. Where'd you find that at?
I was lucky. I found it in a shop, and I even forget where I found it, but I've had it probably a good 40 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
You ever use it? Ever play it?
Oh, yeah. It's very delicate. I mean, you can break it with your hand, but I only use it on rare occasions.
Gotcha. Let's see here. Can you do us a quick favor?
Sure.
Can you do a promo ID for our radio show? Just say your name, the band.
Yeah, I'll give it. This might take an hour, but sure.
Oh, go for it. You got time.
Yes, by all means, I'd love to.
Whenever you're ready.
Okay, so let's see if I don't give me the IDs and stuff, if you don't mind.
Oh, no problem. It's your name, the band you're with. You're listening to Maximum Threshold, and throw something crazy out at the end of it, and don't put no thought into it.
Okay, Maximum Threshold.
Yes.
With Dom. Should I mention
you?
Yeah,
you could do that if you like.
Okay. Okay. This is Burley Drummond from Ambrosia, and I'm listening to Maximum. Let me try it again.
Sure.
This is Burley Drummond from Ambrosia, and I'm listening to Maximum Threshold with Dom, my favorite. Here we go with Ambrosia. Yay!
That was perfect. Burley, hey, I want to thank you very much for taking time out here. And we definitely will hook up down the road again. And you have my number, too. Just give me a call whenever you're getting ready to push something or whatever you have. And I'm here for you.
Okay, thank you, Dom. And I'll make sure I have your email, and I'll send you the new tune, and you can tell me what you think.
Sure, sounds good.
All right, buddy. Thank you so much.
Take care, man.
Okay. Bye.
the things I'll do for you. Ain't no risk now in letting my love rain down on you, so we could wash away the past, so that we may start anew. Rising up on my shoulder, getting better as a roller. All I wanna do is hold her. She's the life that breathes in me. Got a feeling that forever we're gonna stay together. For me, there's nothing better. You're the biggest part of me. Make a wish, baby, and I will make it come true. Make a list, baby, make a list of the things I'll do for you. Ain't no risk now, let my love rain down on you, so we could wash away the past, so that we may start anew. More than an easy feeling, she brings joy to me. How can I tell you what it means to me? Flow like a lazy river for an eternity. I finally found someone who believes in me, and I'll never leave. Made life grand. Make a wish, baby, and I will make it come true. Make a list, baby, of the things I'll do for you. Ain't no risk now, let my love rain down on you, so we could wash away the past, so that we may start anew. Beside me, need your love and here beside me. Keep it close enough to guide me from the fears that are inside of me. You're the biggest part of me. Got a feeling that forever we're gonna stay together. From now until forever, you're the biggest part of me. You're the life that breathes in me. You're the biggest part of me. You changed my life. You made it right. I'll be a servant to you for the rest of my life.
You want to listen to Maximum Threshold Radio on your phone? You can do so. The app is out there, baby. Tune in Radio. Go to your little market there and download Tune In Radio. Just type it in the search, Tune In Radio. Once you download that app, click it, activate it, blah, blah, blah. Search Maximum Threshold. Once again, that's Tune In Radio. You can also catch the podcast on there also. It's real nice. Check it out. Tune In Radio for Maximum Threshold Radio live.
Missed the live show? Go to StitcherRadio.com and search Maximum Threshold and listen in today. That's Maximum Threshold and Stitcher Radio, a match made in heaven.
You want to follow Maximum Threshold Radio, you can do so. You can find us at MaximumThreshold.net, Facebook, Facebook.com/Maximum Threshold Radio, Twitter at Max Threshold. You can also get us on YouTube at YouTube.com/Maximum Threshold. Pretty damn simple, huh? Check us out. Follow us. Be part of us.
And there you go, man. That's some brand new Alice in Chains for you. Never Fade off the latest release. There you have. I hope you guys are digging that. Man, it's pretty smooth. We have Paul Nelson calling in here any minute. So, yeah, I want to thank everybody for tuning in to this week's Maximum Threshold radio show. Like I said, we have a smooth, fast running show. Just doing a lot of stuff on here, man. So, yeah, definitely thank everybody for tuning in, being part of this from wherever you're listening to. And I know there's people from like all around the world listening to us right now, which is really cool. And I appreciate it. And for the people who are downloading this on iTunes, Google Play, whatever that it's called now, and all those 500 billion other places that take my feed I don't know about, thank you. I wish you guys just send me a message at mtrshow@gmail.com. Just let me know, man. You guys have my feed, and you guys are like got our show, our podcast, or whatever, and you guys are playing it over on your site because I have no clue. I do a Google search and I find like literally hundreds of other sites that are saying this show is on their station, and I had never heard of them before. And a lot of them are like in Russia and Germany and France and Australia, and it's all over the place. You know, mostly people in the States. So you listen to us live, or you download us right from iTunes or Apple. They call it now Apple Podcast. I want to thank them also. We're actually hitting the charts on iTunes, which is pretty cool. I've been doing this a long time, so what did I say? It's 539 episodes. Or 538, one of them. One of those two. Let me see. Let me just make sure. Oh, yeah, this is 539. Last week's show, we had Paradise Kitty on and Real Big Fish. So you talk about a nice little mix. You talk about a Guns N' Roses tribute female cover band to Real Big Fish, that ska band. There's a nice little separation. Maximum Threshold Radio.
Hello.
Hey, Paul, what's going on, man?
Hey, what's up, buddy?
Hey, not too much. Just hanging out here, just shooting the shit on the air over here.
There you go. Thanks for doing this. I really appreciate it.
Anytime, man. So what you got going on?
I think I have a gig near you October 14th. Well, it's Buddy Guys in Chicago. I play there a lot, but it's part of my Midwest tour. So,
gotcha.
And then I got some
Jamaican news. I got solo album stuff. A lot of stuff going on.
See, I want to touch on that stuff. I'm pretty new to your music, and I'm listening to this. I'm like, man. And I started reading the bio on yourself, and I'm like, we've known you like for decades already, just from the bands that you've been involved with and the music you've been, and just the people you've been around, and just listening.
I think I'm one of those guys that like missed you by like 5 minutes every time.
I know. It happens.
He was just here. Yeah. Yeah. It could be that.
Yeah. It's one of the things. Yep.
But the biggest honor was playing with John.
With Johnny Winter. You there? You there? You're fading in and out. Are you there?
Yella, did you get my new material?
Yeah, I got that. I just listened to it just a little while ago.
Great.
And I started the show off playing Out of Time off it.
Ah, great.
I love that, man. That's a smooth song. When I was listening to it, I'm a guitarist as well, and I like to listen to like the certain riffs that you do and certain solos, and I try to figure out, where is this? Where'd you get this from? What was your influence on? You can't do that with this record because you're all over the place, and you can't pinpoint yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. I learned that from Johnny. Johnny's style was like every single guitar player, not like one or two. So I really studied like everyone to try to get my own style out of it. And then when I do play solos on those songs, I service the song. I don't want to give everybody a guitar lesson every time they listen to something. I can do that. People know I do that. But for this album specifically, I wanted to write a good solo, like a Brian May solo, or like a Angus Young solo, or like a Page solo. Things that really meant something within the song. So
that's the exact vibe that I got of it. Now, when I was listening, I was like, this isn't like he wrote the solo around, or the song was written around the solo, or nothing like that. I was like, the music is the background, and you took that music and you made a real strong melody out of it, and you made that melody rhyme come through the whole song.
That's the key. That's what I try to do, and I'm glad you noticed it. I like to write music that you just keep on playing over and over again, and you forgot that it's playing again, and then you start hearing new stuff and new ear candy.
That's right.
That's what songs do. So, yep. Oh, but cool, great. Play the crap out of it.
I will. You definitely got a fan out of me on this one. I'll tell you that.
Oh, cool, man. I appreciate it. And that singer, how do you like that singer?
Oh, sweet.
Oh, he's from Norway. He was number 2 on The Voice.
Wow. What's his name?
Morten Fredheim.
Huh. Oh, cool.
Yep. He speaks perfect English, the King's English.
Wow.
Yep.
Just straight English.
Yep. Yeah, I had my eye on him for some time because I produced his band years ago, and I said, boy, if I'm ever free to do my own thing, and he's free, I got to get this guy. So that's how that worked. That
was sort of something like Joe Perry did when he did his last solo record. Didn't he get I forgot who he got is singing for him, but he got somebody from over there, and this guy was like phenomenal.
Yeah, well, you're on the road and you see their opening acts, or you go in a club when you're off the tour and you're hanging out in some town. You're like, wow, who is that guy? And then you take a number down. And then that person forgets, and then 2 years later the phone rings. Okay, you're getting on a flight. What? That's how it works. I can't tell you how many albums were put together at Clapton's Crossroad Fest behind the scenes. This one meeting this one. I need you on this. Oh, I love that drummer. I love that bass. Yeah. The concerts in the front that everybody sees is one thing, but what happens in the back, the albums that are developed in this, and the networking is insane.
Oh yeah, I believe it.
Yep.
What was some of the key things that stuck out in your career that you felt were the major catapults in your development of being a guitarist and a musician?
Well, early on, I knew that if I was going to do this seriously, I had to get into all aspects of it. There's always that what-if factor. So I went into engineering. I went into sight reading. I went into producing. I went into, and I knew I had to enroll into professional school. So I enrolled in Berklee College of Music, and I got accepted. And that's where I met Steve Vai, and he gave me private lessons on the side. So that was my first. And, you know, you get an influential teacher like that, and that's what really gets your juices flowing and makes you want to continue on. So then after that, I sought out private teachers like Steve Kahn, Mike Stern. You know, I went that whole fusion route, that Eric Johnson thing, Satriani kind of thing. My first album was called Look, and that's all instrumental. But when I first started off, it was blues, and it was guys like, you know, Johnny Winter, Hendrix, Billy Gibbons, and and then Jimmy Page and all that. You know, everybody has to listen to. It's part of their vocabulary. And then to actually later on get to meet my idol and play with him, it was like Johnny Winter playing with Muddy Waters. It was like, here it is. And that was the coolest.
Yeah. How did it feel when you're on the stage and you just look over at them? And you just start smiling and just losing it inside?
Well, I'll tell you a story.
Yeah.
The first time that I actually sat down and played with Johnny was in the studio. It was the Carriage House Studios on the East Coast. I'm over here in the tri-state area.
Yeah.
And so I wrote 3 songs for him. I had met him in the studio because I was recording for the football league, the WWE. Okay. When they did that football league for a while there.
XFL.
And I was in the studio. Yeah, I was in the studio, and he was coming in right after that, and he heard me playing. He said, "Hey, I love the way you play. I'm in here doing my album. Would you like to write a song?" So I got some session guys together. I got a guy that sounded like Johnny singing. I had Johnny's equipment there in the studio, so I wrote and recorded a song and played for him the next day. And he said, "Wow, that sounds great." He goes, "You got any more?" So I wrote 2 more. So he said, "Well, you know, there's some other parts on that. Why don't you play on the album?" And I go, "Okay." So we go in the studio, and there I am with my idol in front of me.
Yeah.
And he starts playing my song, and I knew from people that knew him that, you know, if something became a pain in the neck, he just didn't want to do it anymore. So we get to the ending of one of the songs that I wrote, and he plays the ending, and he goes, "How was that?" And I go, "Well, you can do it that way, or you can do it the way I wrote it." And he goes, "Why, that wasn't right?" And I'm like, "Oh my God. No." He goes, "Well, show me." And I go, "Oh, well, it goes like this." He goes, "Okay, I got it." And he tries it again. And he goes, "How was that?" And I go, "No cigar." He goes, "Well, I go, no. I go, "Look, this is important that we get this. It's a major recording. It's forever." And so then we got it. We nailed it. So then I turned to the engineer and producer at the time. I said, "Look, I want to do my parts again." And they said, "What do you mean you want to do your parts again? Nobody asked to do their parts again. This isn't all about..." I go, no, you don't understand. Now that I hear what Johnny's playing, I want to play less.
Yeah.
And Johnny looks at me and he says, "Wow, nobody's ever said that. Everybody always wants to outdo me and show me up and, you know, combat me, you know, battle me, cutting heads, as they say." He goes, "Wow, that's really cool." So as I'm leaving the studio, the owner says, "You know, I saw you with Johnny there." And Johnny wasn't in the best of shape then. You know, there was a lot involved. There's a whole movie out about, you know, how I helped him with his demons. And he was in really bad shape. And the head of the studio said, he says, "The way you worked with Johnny," he goes, "I don't know, I get a weird feeling that some way you're going to help Johnny and Johnny's going to help you. And like you two were meant to get together like this."
Yeah.
And now in hindsight, you know, later on, there's a lot of bad stuff with his management, which is in a movie called Down and Dirty. He had a lot of drug problems, which I got him off of, and I produced his album and got him his first Grammy, and myself as well. So that guy was right. So that was my brush with my icon. And then things have been great then, before, and after, and now I'm on tour myself.
Nice. Yeah, my big idol that I got to meet was Jimmy Page, and I didn't get to play with him. He was just at the red carpet at the Rock Hall of Fame induction ceremony. He fell up the stairs, and I caught him, and I thought, "Wow, this is like heaven right here." It's my guitar hero right here, my God, right in front of me, and I just caught him. I saved his life.
Well, I actually, my brush was, I had one of those brushes, and it was with the same guy.
Wow.
We were at the Grammys. I was there at the acceptance thing, and he was sitting one seat in front of me. To my right was Chick Corea, and to left was Triumph, the unknown comic dog.
Oh,
the hand puppet.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting to a hand puppet and two idols.
That's funny.
Oh man, yeah. There you go. So yeah, things are going great. Touring, got my album out. It's all good.
Yeah. Well, I got a question. Seeing that you're like in the background of the music, with all the stars and all that. What did you think? Did you get to check out the movie Hired Gun?
Oh well, see, that was. I think that's a modern day Standing Behind the Shadows or the Wrecking Crew, which was insane.
Yeah.
Because those guys not only read the charts, they wrote the music.
Yeah.
They helped out with pet signs and whatever TV show Hawaii 5-0. But yeah, Hired Gun was the modern version of it. The more update. What happened to Sarzo and my buddy Derek St. Holmes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that one. That was really good. It's timely because musicians are having a hard time.
Yeah.
And it really shows how musicians are treated and how they should be treated correctly. And now when you have music that people just consider should be free, it's affecting each artist. So I'm very fortunate. I played with a lot of good people. I established some credibility with the venues and the fans, and I'm working. But it's a struggle for people starting out. I can see it.
Yeah.
A young band said something to me the other day. I produce a lot of acts. And they said, it's a lot harder nowadays. And I go, what do you mean nowadays? What? Well, all these artists are passing away. And they go, there's no one for us to open up for anymore to build our resume. They're all gone. Yeah. And they said, all we get to do is open up for openers. Because we've lost so many great artists, B.B. King and Johnny and just tons of them. Just it was that whole ilk, that whole those Woodstock guys and the blues guys, the rock guys. Not to mention actors and all that kind of thing. On Facebook you just see a lot of people passing away that you wouldn't normally see immediately. But yeah, it's. I don't want to put a downer on this conversation, but it is difficult. But fortunately, I'm playing, and I'm in the right area. I'm in that guitar area. I love playing places, intimate guitar musician kind of places, like the Iridium in the City and the 55 Bar. And then I'll go to Buddy Guy's, or then I'll play like big places, or I'm fortunate in that respect. So knock on wood.
I got a question here. This is from Jeff Kiss. He just messaged me. He want to know if you played on an album called The Mob.
No, but I produced them, and they were from Norway, and that's the singer, Morten Fredheim, who sings on my new album, Badass Generation. He was with a band that was originally Hayseed, and then he came over here, and we changed the name to The Mob, and they toured, and I had them open up for us when I was playing with Johnny.
Yeah.
And I produced their album. It was a great album. I would get hired a lot to go over to Europe, and especially I went over to them when they were in Oslo, and I arranged and produced their stuff. Then I went over for another band on Sony, EMI, over in Copenhagen. So they wanted to Americanize a lot of their stuff. So I would go over and do a lot of that. So that's where I met Morten. Okay. Morten was number 2 on The Voice, and he's such a great singer. And they really got into the retro 70s thing before we did.
Okay.
Before guys like myself and Bonamassa started saying, hey, listen to Bad Company and, Free and Old Zeppelin, all that stuff. They've been doing it. And while we were touring over there, it's like, wow, what's going on here? And when we were retroizing traditional blues, they were retroizing the British blues invasion. And that's how you get like Rival Sons and that kind of stuff going on now. So that's my new album. That's what I'm into doing. I wanted to mix that blues rock kind of thing, which was kind of like a Johnny thing. Back in the day, he got a lot of flack for being a rock guy.
Yeah.
But it paid his bills to be able to run around and be a blues guy.
That's
the blues world is difficult.
Yep.
You know. So.
What do you think about bands?
Yeah.
What do you think about new bands that are coming out like the Greta Van Fleet, who are taking that Zeppelin kind of sound? What do you think of bands like that?
It's cool. I mean, the people that really know Zeppelin know what they're doing, and the people that have never heard Zeppelin before don't know what they're doing. So you got to hit it right. I mean, think of the guys that we idolized from the past, maybe the second generation blues guys, or the rock blues guys.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, where did they get that sound? Where did they get that stuff?
Yeah.
And then you read the interview. Well, I listened to Robert Johnson. I listened to T-Bone, and this was stuff that you didn't even think of listening to until you got inspired by them. But it went back so many decades.
Mm-hmm.
You don't listen to that. But now, when you hear that artist and read what made them tick, it inspires you to go back. So what they're doing is inspiring everybody to go listen to Zeppelin, early Zeppelin, go listen to Bad Company, Free. I mean, Paul Rodgers, every singer wants to be Paul Rodgers,
Yep.
So it's insane. And then Kossoff,
mm-hmm.
So, but I think it's great. It's really cool because it regenerates, but it doesn't copy it completely. There's always a little twist to it. It's like they'll wear some bell bottoms, but they'll wear a different shirt. You know what I mean?
Oh,
yeah.
Let's hear a couple of questions here. They're asking tell us about the Jamaican thing that you have going on.
Oh, Jamaica. That's great. I get to play with my buddy, Sonny Landreth. I've done a lot. He was our opening act in Japan when I went over there with Johnny several times. And then I did the Island Exodus. He and I and Warren Haynes, he does his thing with Government Mule on the other side of the island. So I started one in Johnny's name with co-sponsors in Canada. And this is going to be January 24th through the 31st. You can go to johnnywinterfest.com. And it's got myself, legendary harp player James Montgomery. We have Derek St. Holmes from Ted Nugent. We have Samantha Fish, who's going through the roof now. Yeah. Fantastic.
Her and her SG.
And Sonny Landreth. Yeah, so it's great. It's right on the water there, right over the airport, 20 minutes from the airport, right on the beach. It's selling out. It's great. It's kind of my responsibility. I was with Johnny so long that, he passed like 4 years ago, and I kind of made a pact that I would continue his legacy as much as I could while doing my own thing, because he was a big fan of my playing and wanted me to continue on. But at the same time, that's the good thing about the blues world. They really, it's a family. Mm-hmm. They pass the torch or whatever that is, the goblet or the golden spoon or whatever, but they do that a lot. And there's a lot of respect. Johnny have respect for money. I have respect for Johnny. So I wanted to do things in his name with the estate because I'm still friends with the family and, Edgar, obviously.
Yeah.
So, it's a great festival. JohnnyWinterFest.com. It's all over the internet, so you just Google it.
Okay.
But it's going to be a serious event, and the musicians that are playing, we have David Hull, who's playing with Aerosmith now on bass. We have, Mike DeMeo plays keys. He was actually the singer for Riot.
Yeah. That's right.
Now he's a keyboard player with Tommy James. I got Jay Giles, drummer. We got it's just a slew of people, and it's music, and then just the resort itself. The activities and the jet skis and all that stuff. So it's great, and I've done a bunch of those. So now I'm running my own. So it's cool.
Sounds good, man. That sounds like it'd be a lot of fun to do that.
Oh, and we got some great sponsors. I got DR Strings, who I've been with for ages. They're the best people in the world.
I love DR
Rosa
Strings.
is my rep.
Yeah.
She's probably listening in right now going, yeah! We have Gibson Guitars and great shirt companies, all these people backing us. Of course, they all want to go.
Yeah.
So there you go. But yeah, I've been with DR Strings for the longest time, and they are the best people. It's really hard to find a family when you're dealing with endorsements and that kind of thing. But these people, they treat me like a king, and they're so gracious. And it's more than just business. It's something else, and it's really proud to be part of it. And I got some signature guitars and that kind of stuff, the stuff that goes with musical awards and stuff. So things are good. But thanks for asking.
But the DR strings, I've used them for years, and I've bounced through all the different kind of strings, and it just seems like DR, those are the ones that they're the handmade strings, and they're the ones they just feel so comfortable, and they play, they're so smooth, and very seldomly do they ever go out of tune. I love them.
I went to the company and watched them wind them.
Oh, did you?
It's an insane process.
Wow.
And when Johnny was around, he used the Pure Blues. I used the Pure Blues. So yeah, it's they're a great string, and you put them on, and your pedals sound better, your amp sounds better, and when your gear and your stuff works perfectly,
you feel better.
It just gives you the freedom to play better.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's like, well, why do you need? When I first started playing, I used to read articles, and they'd say, oh, I use this kind of pick, and I was like, what the hell difference does that make? It's just a piece of plastic, but then you play enough for hours and hours and hours and hours, and you go, wow, if I had this, or if I had this kind of string, and maybe this amp isn't the right thing, and I should try it, and it's a constant battle. And then finally, you get into your own, and you get what you need, and, water finds its own level.
Yep.
And you come to the best products, and DR is, and then just the added bonus of the fact that just the greatest people in the world, so it's really cool. I do a lot of NAMM shows with them and meet and greet, so it's cool.
I would love to pick up a small little endorsement deal with them, with my band and me playing, because I'm always looking for something to push and something I believe in, and those strings, man, and plus they have my initials, DR. They can't beat that.
Well, I think now that we've mentioned, I think now that we've mentioned them for 15 minutes, I think you can go down to NAMM and get anything you want. I think we're good.
Let's see here.
I'm not kidding.
I believe it. Let's see. Got a question here from Jeff Kiss. He's asking, ask if you're a Yankees or Mets fan.
Yankee or Mets. I actually played on a song that was played when they opened up a stadium in New York, and they invited me down to listen to it as they played the song for the opening thing. Yankee fan, Yankee.
And he said, if he says Yanks, call him a front runner.
Oh, there we go.
and he says if he's a Mets fan, just start laughing.
I did play softball. I was a softball player. Yep. So I was athletically inclined, and I also threw javelin in high school, and I was a cross-country runner. That's as far as I go into my past.
Did you ever hurt yourself in those two sports?
No, I never did. But you always had to watch out for your fingers. That was the key. But when you're running, they just kind of flop around, so you're okay.
Did you ever
bowling was rough.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I took some bowling in college. That was tough.
Yeah, there you go.
Let's see here. Well, what else you have going on other than the things that we've talked about?
All right, so the new album's out.
Yep.
It's called Badass Generation. Why Badass Generation? Because when I was in the studio and we were playing some of the songs, somebody came in and said, hey, that's badass. And then all of a sudden, they're looking at one of the guitars in the corner. Oh, what a badass guitar. And then all of a sudden, hey, so-and-so just pulled up. Oh, see that badass car? I go, what is this, some kind of badass generation? That they have badasses? And I'm like, oh, boy. And that was the perfect thing to show our generation appreciating music of the past, using that expression, say, how cool is retro 70s stuff? How cool is early Zeppelin? How cool is early Aerosmith and Freddie King and all that stuff? So that's where they came. And that's why the cover, I wanted to look for the most iconic 70s looking thing, so I went for like an Andy Warhol kind of cassette.
Yeah.
So that's where I went with that. But so the new album came out. I got signed with Sony after Johnny passed. I called up Morton from Norway, flew him over. I got Papa Chubby's drummer, Chris Redden, had him come over. I had Samantha Fish's bass player, Chris Alexander. He came over. Had all kinds of guests. I had Danny Lewis from Government Mule play keys, and it was a lockdown. So we just started writing. Then the booking agent's like, okay, we got to get you out there. And I just started hitting it. So I did some Midwest runs, went up to Canada, did some Florida, and started building. And now, 2 years later, it's it's going crazy. So it's great. So I go out to the Midwest in September, October, hit Buddy Guy's again. I actually had the honor of Buddy Guy asking me to come on stage a couple weeks ago and play with him. That's all over the internet. That was great. He had me come up and I played the whole set.
Wow.
So then I head down to Florida, and then, this festival season, so I start doing that, and then I start working on my new album. Then we have that Jamaica thing, like I said, the Winterfest, Johnny Winterfest, and then more after that, more Florida, and I just signed with a booking agent in Europe and management, so I'm going to start heading over there again. So things are good.
Nice.
Really good. And you're playing my music, and I appreciate it. It's all good.
Anytime, man. What's one of your favorite songs off your latest one?
Oh, that's a tough one.
Oh, I know.
How many people had? Yeah. Actually, the one that I'm told is everybody else's favorite now has become my favorite. It's got a real British kind of shuffle, like you're holding a little teacup and your pinky's up in the air while you're playing. It's Root to All Evil. That's the one.
Why is that?
It's got this cool shuffle groove to it that just marches on. I really like the way that one came out. It was a good tempo, good groove, and I think we did a really good job on that, all the guys. So it was very inspirational to work with such good artists, like a great singer. It's so inspirational. You start writing these parts, and then when you hand it to other people and it just goes down the tubes, it's like, oh, this isn't going to work. But when you have great guys, they can make a G or a D chord sound like a symphony. It's like, it's very cool. So that one came out really good.
Nice. What is your favorite song to play live?
Well, I also pay tribute to a lot of blues artists. I do a lot of Johnny tunes. I love doing songs like Albert King stuff, like Born Under a Bad Sign, doing my version of it, or like Freddie King stuff, some of those instrumentals, like Jeff Beck would do his version, or Mick Taylor of like The Stumble, or like his version of Hideaway. But I also play slide guitar as well. So I enjoy playing Highway 61. My songs, I like doing Down Home Boogie, Goodbye Forever, which is a real intricate kind of riff. It's like a Steve Morris kind of thing. But, I really love playing traditional blues songs, and beefing them up a little, but still holding true to their original forms. Because I learn from those. You always go back and learn from the masters, the traditional guys. Johnny Winter said he would, and I knew he would listen to nothing but blues from the 50s, and so did Angus Young. Nothing but 50s blues for inspiration. Nothing else. And it's amazing. Howlin' Wolf and Hubert Sumlin with him, and, it's just, so there's always something to get from that. That's always my go-to. Muddy Waters, that stuff. Even Eric Clapton, when he writes a pop tune, I've read articles, I've actually recorded with him, but I know that he said, my songs may be pop sometimes, but my solos are always blues.
Yeah.
So that's what I try to do. But I put a little more melody in them. I make them songs in themselves. I know we talked about that a little bit.
I definitely, man, I'm really, like I said, I'm really digging your material. I like it. Coming from a guitarist, I can appreciate what you do and with the sounds that you make and your style and all that.
Thanks. It's it just pours out of you, all these influences. When Johnny passed, I could have come out and did an album that sounded like Johnny, and I knew his amp settings, and I was around him enough that musicians like sponges. So I absorbed every riff, and I could have done that, but I'm like, why? There was a Johnny. So I did my own thing. It was supposed to be a blues album, and it came out blues rock, and I just had to let it all. It was like a big cleansing kind of moment, because a lot of stuff went on, when he passed. It was kind of rough. So the record label dug it, and they released it worldwide, and I was like, okay, let's do it. Now the next one I'm going to do could be blues. I'm fortunate enough that I can do what I want. But I'm not going to go crazy. I know what I like to play, and it's all blues based and rock based. So that's where I'm at.
What was the coolest gift that Johnny ever gave you?
when he passed, he gave me his whole vinyl collection.
Wow.
Everything that he listened to from first picking up the guitar till the end of his life, which it was very emotional. And what I do is, on my days off from touring, I listen to every single album as much as I can and pick up as much as I can for what made him tick, because I know that's what made him tick, what made Clapton tick, what made Hendrix tick, what made Muddy tick. It's just, so it's very inspirational to have the whole history of somebody's career, one of the greatest players in the world, and know sitting on your wall is what made that person, what they listened to, that kind of thing. And I didn't even have a vinyl player, I didn't. So a DJ that I know, a radio station, is a Johnny Winterland Radio. He gave me a album vinyl player, and so I just started listening to it, and that was big. That was the best gift from Johnny. Was like a father to me. We were very close, and if you see that movie Down and Dirty, you'll understand.
I will check it out, definitely.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Just a couple more things before we get going. Another question. They were asking if you ever played with or worked with George Lynch.
Yes. Oh, big favorite. Back in the day when I was playing a little heavier stuff, I had an ESP guitar. So I was with that company, and we did some NAMM shows, the National Associations of Music Merchants and whatever the hell. Yeah. But we did guitar clinics, and it was he and I. Big fan of his playing, because again, no matter how rocked out he was blues-based.
Yeah.
Same with guys like Eddie Van Halen. You can hear the blues in him. And all the artists that have made it big were blues bands first. Even Sabbath was a blues band. Even the heaviest of heaviest bands, they were blues-based. And then they went on to their own. Jeff Beck was a blues guy, So, Lynch is great. I love that whole, there's some very inspirational stuff there.
When you played with him at NAMM, did you have to wear those fingerless gloves like he did?
No, but I saw him. But man, I tell you, he walked into that little booth, and he just pulled out a little tube screamer, which is a distortion pedal for those of you not in the know.
Oh, the Ibanez.
And he plugged it in, and it was George Lynch's sound, because technically, when you have a certain vibrato and a certain thing, that's your signature sound. So. And I was just like, oh man, this guy, he was back in the rock kind of period.
Yeah.
Big influence. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I still got a couple instructional, I have one of the first DVDs that he put out, and he's showing his little fingerless gloves, and it's like he did it like his own, made his own videos on it. He's got Mr.
Oh, yeah, it's hard. I went through that trying to learn, and I go, the YouTube thing and then the video thing. I even met Arlen Roth, the guy that started all those. I did some shows with him. He's great. He was like the big slide instructor that worked with Roy Buchanan and all that.
Yeah.
But, it was hard to learn from his stuff because he just ripped, and he didn't really. Some of these guys, they're so good they can't teach.
Yeah.
And then some of these guys are better teachers than they are players. So you got to get what you can out of it. But you got to find what you need, and that's why I'm a big fan of, music theory. It helps you get to the point quicker, so you don't waste time. A lot of guys can spend 10 years and they don't get anywhere. But if you get the right direction, the right teachers, and I'm a big fan of private study and people studying. You got to do that, and you got to put in the hours. I mean, Johnny put in. He said 6 hours a day.
Wow.
What you got to do. Steve Vai. You didn't see the guy except, to have lunch, breakfast, and dinner. It was just pure practice.
Yep.
Well, that's the hours these guys are putting in. So pay them.
That's right.
Go to their shows. I got to tell you something about going to a live show.
Yeah.
People are sitting home watching Netflix, making their little buttered popcorn. And it's like, well, I'll just download this or whatever. When you see a live performance, you will never see that same performance again. Once it's happening as it's happening. It will never repeat itself. That combinations of solos, the conversation between the crowd, the people in the room, everything. It's the only thing in music that's different. You listen to a recording by a certain band, it's the same over and over and over and over again. Then you go see the band, you go, oh, I had no idea they played this. I didn't know they played this. You got to go see it, support them, but what you get out of it is something totally different than just a repeated manufactured song, which is great, which entices you to listen to and become a fan of an artist. But a live performance, nothing can beat it. And there's nothing better than an artist to have that back and forth because the audience encourages the artist. Johnny used to get bummed out if crowds didn't clap, and he said he would purposely play less notes. And I asked him one night, I go, what do you mean less notes? I go, you're not counting now. I go, how many less? He goes, 6. I'm like, oh, my God. Yeah. So there you go. He goes, yeah, they didn't clap enough. I was playing my guts out, so I played 6 less notes. I'm like, funny. Oh, my God. I'm putting Bellevue. Yep.
Let's see here. Just a couple more things. We'll let you get going. How can people get hold of your music? How can people get your music and your merch and all that?
All right. Well, all they have to do is Google Paul Nelson, and then you get me or some dentist. But PaulNelsonGuitar.com. Paul Nelson Guitar, GUITAR, .com. I'm on all the socials. You know, I got the great people and the publicists and all the things that one needs. And the tour dates are on there, bios, music, merch, and then your local venue if I'm playing there.
Nice. Will you become
Bands and Towns a biggie. So I have good people, and they got me covered.
Gotcha.
So PaulNelsonGuitar.com.
Okay, man. Paul, can you do us a quick favor?
Yeah, sure.
Can you do a promo ID for a radio show? Just say your name.
I would love to. I would love to.
Listen to Maximum Threshold and throw something crazy out at the end of it and don't put no thought into it.
Okay. You ready?
Sure.
Hi, this is Paul Nelson. You're listening to Maximum Threshold. Crank it loud!
Perfect. Paul, I definitely thank you, man, for taking the time out and calling us and getting everybody on board with you.
We could have went for hours.
Oh, yeah. I hear you. And you got to come through will you be coming through the Cleveland area anytime?
No, we'll come in and we'll jam.
Yeah.
I like to do that. I really like doing that. I bring in the electric, put it on the floor. We have drummer taps on the table. The singer sings with a mic. Bass player plays, and it's fun. So yes, I would love to set something like that up for sure. If that's what you're asking.
Yeah.
Great.
Definitely. Hey, so I want to thank you again for being on here and, turning us on to your music here. And I want to play, what song do you want me to play for everybody tonight off your new one?
Well, we talked about Root to All Evil.
Yeah, I got that on the board.
How about, do Root to All Evil.
Okay. Got it. And what's the song about?
Women and money. There you go. What else?
I hear you. Okay, Paul. Hey, I definitely thank you again for being on, man.
Thanks, buddy.
Yep, and have yourself a good one.
All right, thank you so much, and I'll see you. We're on for that. I'm coming by there.
Sounds good, man.
Thanks, buddy. I'll see you in Jamaica.
Sounds good. Okay.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Baby, you're the root to all evil.
The Thresh with Dominic.
This is the Hellion, and you are listening to Maximum Threshold on the net, where Dom just sacrificed a live goat in the name of metal!
Call into the show. West Coast callers call 213-973-7237. Once again, 213-973-7237. East Coast callers 440-709-4977. Once again, 440-709-4977.
Trailers rocking, riding with their sister. I mean, we're listening to Maximum Threshold right here. Maximum Threshold radio show.
And then I'm back to Maximum Threshold radio.
Impetuous boy! Oh, well, who wants to live forever?
People, we're back. And if you listen to us live, you got to hear some Death Angel and some Judas Priest. But if you listen to us on a recorded version, you didn't hear that, sucker. Okay, I got a couple more things here and roll along. I got the rock and metal news, so we got to find out what the hell's going on in the music news because I have no clue. And I got some brand new Metal Allegiance, and we've got a track here called Mother of Sin I'm about to unleash on you guys. I don't think anybody's playing this yet, but we will. Here you go. So we'll be back after this here on Maximum Threshold Radio. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks to Paul for calling in. That was fun, man. I enjoyed that talk. Okay, well, back after this. Don't go nowhere. What's up?
Hey guys, this is Ron from YouTube's Rock and Metal News, and this is your Maximum Threshold Rock and Metal News Report. Get ready for the new live album from Earthless. It is entitled From the West. It's going to be out on September 28th, which includes vinyl and cassette. The CD release is going to be out on October the 19th through Nuclear Blast. It's from their live show March the 1st, 2018 at the Great American Music Hall in San Francisco, California. They released the live version of Electric Flame on YouTube, so you can check that out. And 94.5 FM's BuzzFest has announced their lineup. It includes A Perfect Circle, Chevelle, Mike Shinoda, Puddle of Mud, and many more, including Scott Stapp and Bad Flower. And it will take place October the 27th at the Cynthia Woods Mitchell Pavilion in Woodlands, Texas. You can check out all the bands at the official website. And a clip of Avenged Sevenfold's new track for their upcoming Call of Duty Black Ops 4 video game is now on YouTube. You can check it out. It's a trailer. Someone filmed the trailer at a video game event and posted it on YouTube, so you can take a listen to a part of the new song. The game hits the streets on October the 12th. Continuing with your Maximum Threshold.net rock and metal news, Lorna Shore released a music video for their new track titled This Is Hell. It's on YouTube now. It features new vocalist, ex-Sign of the Swarm, CJ McCreary. And finally, Audiotopsy, featuring members of Mudvayne, ex-Scrape, among others. They released their new track titled What Am I? It's off their upcoming new album called The Real Now. The album is out on November 2nd through Megaforce Records. This is Ron from YouTube's Rock and Metal News with a Z, and this has been your Maximum Threshold Rock and Metal News Report. Thanks for tuning in.
And now for new music sent in for you to check out.
Controlling the move, and that's right in thoughts, they diluted truth, evil
Name this band and I'll send you the CD. Contest time, bitch.